Super duper. So welcome everybody. Nice to see you, those who are immediately here and those who are joining on video. Hello. We're going to start by limbering to sit today. So if you have something that you can sit on later close by, then that would be great. Either a bolster, a cushion, a block of some kind. And we're going to come down onto our bottoms to begin with a limbering series, and then we'll do a little seated breathing practice. So start with your feet a comfortable distance apart, and you can either lean back on your hands if that feels comfortable. You can put your bolster behind you, or you can just sit up if you prefer. We're going to do palm up to asanas, energy releasing postures for the low body. So begin just for a moment by finding your way into a comfortable seat. Maybe gazing at your toes. It's nice to have a point that you direct your gaze to help you to bring your awareness into the practice that you're doing and disassociate your awareness from the stuff around you. And then when you're ready, breathing in, spreading the toes as far apart as you can. Watch them, watch what they do. And as you breathe out, curl your toes up, together and down. Breathing in, spreading them apart and up. Breathing out, curling them down and together. Breathing in as you spread. Breathing out as you curl. Breathing in as you spread. Breathing out as you curl. Keep going with your breath. Notice the movement of the toes. Perhaps you've got some toes that move more readily or one foot that is more mobile than the other. See if you can encourage those toes that move less readily to move just a little bit more with some directed awareness. We'll do two more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now the whole foot. Breathe in, draw the whole foot back towards you, flexing through your heel. And breathe out, point the whole foot away from you. Notice how it moves. Breathing in, whole foot back towards you. Breathing out, whole foot away from you. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Continue with your breath. This time, in addition to noticing the differences and noticing perhaps where your movement seems a little stuck or a little stiff, see if you can coordinate the whole of your breath with the whole of the movement. So as you breathe in, you finish moving just as you finish your in-breath. And as you breathe out, you finish your movement just as you finish your out-breath. It slows it down, makes it more controlled. Makes it more yoga rather than just movements without that coordination of breath. We'll do one more, breathing in and breathing out. Very good. So here, maybe just separating the feet a little bit further and making circles with the feet. If you want to, you can also coordinate your breath here, breathing in as you draw your toes back towards you and breathing out as you circle the toes away. If you prefer to move with the breath, then do that. And if you prefer just to move, then that's okay too. Notice if perhaps your breath is a little fast, your movement maybe wants to be fast, and draw your breath into a faster, more rapid rhythm. Let's reverse the motion, opposite rotation. And maybe you notice that your breath is slow, perhaps slower than I am going. And that's okay. You can go at your own rate, your own rhythm, once you know the movement. We'll go one more time round in this direction. Aces. So if you did opposing circles, so your ankles, your toes coming together and coming apart, then just bring your feet a little bit closer together and try doing circles in the same direction. And if you did it the opposite way, circles in the same direction, feet further apart, and circles in opposite directions. And this is just an exercise in extracting us from our habitual patterns. Let's go in the opposite direction as well. You'll notice that sometimes you start your yoga always with the same side of the body, or you always use your shoulders first and then your hips. These sorts of things. You always rotate the ankles in a certain way. Coming back to the center, we're going to separate the feet and then alternately roll the ankles. I'm quite stuck at the ankles today. This is a more rapid movement, not coordinated with the breath unless you particularly want to. We go in the opposite direction as well. And all of these feel a little bit different in the legs and in the movement. And then when you're ready, you can bring your feet together. Take yourself off your hands if you've been on your hands. Ease the flesh of the buttocks backwards so you get a really firm connection between your sitting bones and the ground. And then we're going to bend in the right leg first. Lift the chest. You can either hold underneath the thigh or rest the fingertips lightly on top. Draw the belly muscles in, and we're going to kick for 20. So we're doing knee crank, feet flexed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Keep going. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Lovely. Hug the leg towards you. Hug around the back of the thigh. And then making small circles with the foot. So it's just a little bit of rotation movement in the knee here. You might feel your thigh twisting a little bit. That's okay. Just allow your movement to be carried further up the leg if it needs to be. Let's go in the other direction as well. And perhaps you feel that wakening up of the large muscles in the legs, which is great. Unless you've been particularly active already today, this might be the first time. Okay, let's draw the foot down to the floor. Raise the right arm up. Bring the right elbow to the inside of the right knee. Lift the right leg and hold underneath. And here, drawing your leg to wherever it goes to. So if you have the room to sit tall and bring your knee towards your shoulder, then that's great. And if you don't worry about it. Hands, if you can, around the foot, and then just gently wiggling. It's like a gentle rotation, slightly opening in the pelvis and then rebounding the other way. So this is a small movement, or smallish for the hips anyway. And it's quite rapid because we want to have a warming effect on the ligaments of the hips, the tendons particularly that attach the muscles. The large muscle groups around here. Warming in general. And as I say, if you can, sitting upright at the same time, that's great. And then from here, gently easing your foot around so that hopefully you've got your foot over the other side of your thigh. If you have got your foot resting on top of your thigh, be careful you don't get this sort of sickled effect in the ankle. So that really pulls the soft tissue structures on the outside of the ankle. We want to avoid that if we can. Okay. If it's not comfortable here, inside of the thigh will do. Let's sit tall as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, gently press your right thigh down away from you. And just hold wherever you get to. It's a really subtle movement for most of us. If you've got super open hips, your knee might be on the floor here. You can see that mine are not. And we're just holding in this open position, breathing, relaxing as much effort as we can, encouraging a little bit of extra space. And after your next exhalation, just drawing your knee in towards your chest, your foot to the floor, and stretch your right leg away. Notice the difference between the two legs, how they feel. If you've got any feelings in the knee of the right leg, the thigh perhaps. And then we'll draw in the left leg, sit really tall, hold around the back of the thigh or lightly rest the fingertips on top of the knee, flex both feet, roll the shoulders down and kick for 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Lovely. Hug the leg towards you. Make that a really close connection with your torso. And then smallish circles with your toes. And if you want to make your circles bigger, you can, absolutely. And we'll go in the opposite direction as well. And then when you're ready, you can float this foot to the floor, raise the left arm up, bring the elbow to the inside of the left knee, lift the left leg and hold underneath. And again, we're trying to create a feeling of openness in the pelvis. So if you've got room, you can bring your left knee towards your left shoulder. Hold with both hands, really sit tall and do gentle rocking. And I find this is a really nice way to warm up the whole of the pelvis really, but particularly this sort of rotational movement of the hip before I do sitting cross legs. I'm aware that my bottom's making a shuffling sound on the mat. Maybe you are at home too. Okay, and so when you're ready, you can gently ease your left leg around, and maybe your foot comes over so it can rest nice and free of the thigh, or maybe your ankle rests on top, but just checking that it's not that sickling position. And if that happens, just choosing to rest the left leg at the inside of the thigh instead. Sit tall, breathe in, and as you breathe out, just pressing the left hand into the left thigh, so not on the knee itself, but into the left thigh, and holding that openness, that little extra bit of space in the pelvis. And breathing. Trying to release as much effort as you can from this left leg. And at the end of your next exhalation, just releasing the movement, hugging your knee towards you, making sure the foot, the knee, and the hip are aligned again, and straightening your leg away. So now we've done both legs like that. I'm going to turn to face the front. and bring the soles of the feet together. So here, if this position is not the most comfortable for you, you might want to just hold it for a little while. And if you want to, you can do a little bit of rocking side to side. So here I have my elbows just resting lightly on the insides of the legs and gently rock from side to side. If you're really finely boned, you might find that a bit uncomfortable. And you can either make your rock a bit smaller, or you can rest out of this exercise. If, like me, you've got sufficient padding to go side to side without any discomfort, no grinding bones on the floor, then this is quite a nice way to massage the buttocks and just it's a bit clunky, the outsides of the hips, outsides of the legs. When you're ready, weeble yourself back to the center. And you can hold anywhere that's comfortable with your feet and make light bouncing knees. Here we're aiming to sit still with a longish back and draw the abdominal muscles inwards and upwards, just a touch, just enough to support. A light, rapid movement. And if it feels dreadfully uncomfortable, again, maybe this is not the practice for you. And it's okay to rest out of anything that's just not your bag, baby. And then bring your rapid bouncing just to stillness. Notice the effect of it. It's quite warming in the hips themselves. And we're going to hold perhaps onto the ankles here. Roll the shoulder blades towards each other and lift your chest. And then very gently, just draw yourself a little bit forward. What we want to avoid here is rounding in the upper back. This is no use to us. So just a gentle drawing forward. Drawing the belly muscles inwards and upwards. And the action is more in the upper back than in the lower back. Holding and breathing. And then if you feel that you've got more room to move, you can draw yourself a little bit further forward, making adjustments with your elbows if you need to. If you prefer to just rest out, that's okay. And if you feel that you've got a little bit more room to move, you can bring yourself a little bit further forward. Again, just trying to keep the shoulders down, the shoulder blades engaged, the back of the neck long, the back in general quite long. And just experience that feeling of openness or length in the pelvis, wherever it is for you. So for me, I get the length mostly at the top of the thighs, but interestingly enough, mostly on the outsides of the thighs. When you're ready, gently releasing yourself more upright. Excellent. We're going to take ourselves the other way because it's a good thing to do. So reaching the hands back behind you, you can be up on fingertips, on fists if you prefer, or on the flats of your hands. And again, roll the shoulder blades together. And here, bending the elbows maybe just a touch to get that openness in the chest. A little bend in the elbow means that most of the stretch comes across the chest rather than the arms or the shoulders. And if you want to, you can look all the way up. Just try to avoid dropping your head all the way back. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then just padding yourself back to upright. Staying in this position, unfortunately, for those who are not enjoying it quite as much, we're going to try to ease the knees apart with the elbows. So this, instead of it being about a forward bend, which we just did, we're going to use the effort of our upper body just to press the legs apart. And it's really important that the elbows don't press into the knees, but into the thighs. And just finding a place where that works, that you can explore a little bit of extra openness, extra length that you need a little help for. Only going to a place that feels comfortable, and after a brief hold, releasing. And then we're going to try the same thing, leaning back on the hands ever so slightly, so you open the space between the torso and the thighs. Again, pressing the knees down, but this time doing it with the effort of the legs themselves. And if you've got really mobile ankles, you might be able to also turn the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. And if you don't have really mobile ankles, don't worry about it. It's not a necessary part of the posture. It's just an extension. And then releasing. Coming back to the center, we're going to gather the knees up. So one at a time, really helping the legs to come back together. And then holding ourselves in a little seated child's pose for a moment, tucking the chin into the chest, taking a couple of deep breaths. And then whenever you're ready, you can find what it was that you were going to sit on. And you can kneel if you prefer to kneel, of course, or you can explore, now that we've opened the body for sitting cross-legged, you can explore how it feels to sit with the legs really well prepared. So I like to start with my feet wide and then fold my knees in one at a time, feet in rather, sorry, one at a time. And the idea is that we're lifted enough that our navels are above the knees, because that's the key thing when doing breathing, kneeling, sitting like this. And that we can keep the spine long. We feel a sort of sense of openness. You want to be very much supported. So if you're in one of the other seated postures, so this is Siddhasana, auspicious pose, with one heel in front of the other, but obviously lifted, so not on top of each other. You could be in easy pose, which is the sort of cross legs that we had at school. And with the bolster, this is sometimes a lot more comfortable than it is on the floor. You could take any of the lotus positions that you want to, if that's easy for you. So do something that's really comfy. And if you prefer, you can do a sort of modified fire log pose. So making it more of a square with the knees and the hips, rather than a triangle. So Agni Stamasana, fire log pose. So choosing for you which is the most comfortable. And if your knees are very far off the floor and you want to support them, a little cushion or a rolled blanket is quite nice underneath the knees. And when you've found your comfortable spot, we're going to come to a little bit of stillness and take a moment to take a moment. Let's do that. So I like to put my hands in Chin Mudra, and you may choose to have your hands wherever they fall. Lifting through the back of the body into the crown of the head, maybe a little gentle lift in the abdomen, soft shoulders, soft face, closing your eyes or gazing gently downward. In this moment, notice how you feel. So in terms of sensation, how your body feels. It's easy to notice the loud sensations of discomfort, of stiffness. Try to notice also the quiet sensations of space, ease, length, lift. Notice how your breath feels, how it's moving. Notice if it's loud, audible. There's no tremendous effort here, so try to soften your breath if you can. Soften it in terms of sound. And notice how you feel yourself, how you are feeling, if you are experiencing any emotion. Noticing your state of mind. So we're going to practice noticing, but we're going to move the hands. So just for a moment, you can blink your eyes open. We're going to use mudras today. So mudra, the word mudra means gesture, and hasta mudras, hand mudras, are gestures of the hands. But there are other mudras that are gestures of other parts of the body. And if you think about legs up the wall pose, Vipariti Karani, that's a mudra of the whole body. So it's a gesture rather than an asana, a pose. But today we're all about Hasta Mudras. So the first one we're going to use is called the gesture of fearlessness. It's simply a long fingers, long thumbs, flat hand, like this. And it can rest either on the thighs down or on the thighs up. Down is probably easier, just for today. So this is our base position. It's the position we'll return to, our neutral spot, a bit like returning to Tadasana in a standing sequence. Then our second mudra will be chin mudra, sometimes called jnana mudra, depending on whether you're up or down. So it's first fingers and thumbs together. You can rest the fingertips together. You can rest the first finger into the first crease of the thumb, the first knuckle of the thumb, or you can curl it all the way in towards the base of the thumb. So choose whichever of these is most comfortable. They're all actually, in fact, quite different, but you will choose the one that's most comfortable for you. And again, palms can be rested down or up. That's what makes it either chin mudra or jnana mudra. It doesn't matter for this purpose. But I prefer down when I'm doing concentrating things. So second mudra, let's call it chin mudra, just for ease. And then third mudra is keeping the same position of the first finger and thumb, but rolling or curling all of the other fingers in together. So you could make little binoculars if you wanted to. So you keep an open space between the fingers and the palms, and they're just curled around. And this is Chinmaya Mudra. And again, can be resting down or up as you choose, just wherever the hands are comfortable. And our final mudra is called Adi Mudra. We release all of the hands, bring the thumbs in and the fingers around. It's not tight as a fist, it's just gentle. So Adi Mudra, the thumbs are wrapped in, the hands make a fist, and again, resting wherever is good. So let's just go through those again. We've got gesture of fearlessness, or just a neutral hand. Chin mudra, first fingers and thumbs together, other fingers are long. Chinmaya mudra, first fingers and thumbs together, other fingers are curled around to make a little tube of the hands. And Adi mudra, thumbs in, fingers wrapped around. Okay, so resting your hands in the neutral position, gesture of fearlessness, and we're going to sit as tall as possible and close the eyes. And here there is no attempt to control your breath, but just notice your breath, just as you did a moment ago. And when you're ready, moving your first fingers and thumbs together into Chin Mudra. And then notice your breath. Particularly notice any changes in your breath. Any sensations in the body that have changed. Any feelings of tension in your face. Those you can release, of course. And then curling the rest of your fingers in to where your first finger is, making a tube of the hands in Chinmaya Mudra. Notice your breath. Notice any changes to the spaces in which your breath moves, the parts of the body it reaches. And the parts of the body that are now still with the breath. After your next exhalation, releasing the fingers, fold your thumbs into your palms, wrap the other fingers around the thumb gently, Adi Mudra. Notice your breath. Changes to your breath, to how it feels in the body, where it moves in the body. Any sensations that have changed in the body. Notice here particularly any change of sensation in the shoulders, the jaw. From here, come back to Chinmaya Mudra. First fingers and thumbs together, all of the rest of the fingers curled around, making a tube of the hands. Really focus. Notice the subtle changes. After your next exhalation, gently extending all your fingers except for your first finger and thumb, Chin Mudra. Focus your awareness on the feeling of breathing, the sensation of movement in your body with your breath. There's no need to control your breath in any way, just notice where it goes. And then after your next exhalation, relax your hands into the neutral position. Notice any changes. When you're ready, you can bring your hands together at the center of the chest. Lift the chest. Take the chin only towards the chest and just experience a gentle stretch down the back of the neck. Smile to yourself. And when you're ready, raising your head, releasing your hands, opening your eyes, stretching your legs. Okay, so releasing your legs, that might feel a little bit stiffy. You can always sit in a chair to practice this sort of breathing exercise because a long spine is more important than the position of your legs. So you do whatever your hips are most open to do. If you need to give your knees a bit of a massage, you can give your knees a bit of a massage. Give them a bit of a paddle and maybe a little bit of a shake from side to side. And we're going to come off this. The mudras, they direct energy in the body. So your breath changes position depending on the mudra. And for lots of people, for Chin mudra, the breath comes lower down. For Chinmaya mudra, it comes in the rib cage. And for Adi mudra, it comes at the top of the body. And you might feel that as an almost absence of breath in other parts of the body. So, for example, when I do Adi mudra, I feel very little movement lower down in the lungs, in the thorax, and much more movement here. It also feels like the breath is shorter and all of those things. Some people are wired completely the other way around. So when they do Adi mudra, it's nice and deep. When they do Chinmaya, middle, and when they do Chin mudra, it's more at the top. So just observe. And it's worth doing this a couple of times through this next week, just to see if your breath moves as you move your hands. So, I know you'll all be pleased not to be sitting anymore. Let us come down to lying down on our backs. And after that seated practice, perhaps starting with the knees bent into the chest. And we can do a little drawing of the knees in and away, rotating as well. So we get that stirring and massaging. So stirring the legs, massaging the low back. And we'll go in the opposite direction as well. And then taking the knees back to a central position, keep the toes together, take your knees apart, and this time make your knees go in the same direction. So we want to keep the knees apart, but we're still making circles. So if that instruction isn't obvious, then just watching for a moment. And we'll go in the opposite direction as well. Lovely job. And then the knees come apart and hands circle round. Let's come together, sorry, circle round and apart again, but the toes still together. And in the opposite direction as well. And then all of this has been controlling the hands with the knees, with the hands as well. So just letting the arms come apart and making your knees move in a way that feels good to you, but use your body to do it. So use your abdominal muscles to help. So it might be that you bring the knees more together. You might enjoy having them apart. You might separate the feet and let the legs move independently, which is quite nice as well. Just exploring what feels good. What feels nice to your body, feels nurturing, releasing. And when you're finished, drawing your knees to stillness, and again, just drawing them towards you. This posture is called Apanasana. It's actually the wind releasing pose, so feel free at home if you need to. But that's what it translates as. And if we hold our knees and thighs towards our torso and breathe deeply, keeping the shoulders and the face relaxed, it has the effect of a gentle massage on the internal organs. And there's lots of yoga where we do that gentle massaging, using our bodies or the floor perhaps for that. And then just releasing the knees slightly away, taking one foot down to the floor and then the other, and lengthening the legs away from you. So after being bent a lot, it's quite nice to open this space across the front of the pelvis where the hip flexors are. We're going to do a couple of long, deep stretches through the body. So flex your feet and make sure your toes are pointing up. And as you inhale, take your arms over your head, lengthen the back of the body towards the floor. So the back of the neck, the low back, pressing it down. And as you exhale, release the arms down to the sides and just relax the feet a little. Inhale, press the heels away, press the low back down, the back of the body down, reach the hands over the head. And exhaling, arms down to the sides. One more like this. Inhaling, lengthening the back of the body, stretching the arms. Exhaling, relaxing, and arms down to the sides. Okay, so we're just easing the back of the body down a little bit in preparation for these leg lifts. Arms can come down by the sides, palms facing downwards or inwards is fine, just not upwards. And relax the back of the shoulders towards the floor as well. Firm the belly. Inhale as you lift the right leg up, long and straight. Exhale, draw that knee into your chest. Extend through your left heel at the same time. Inhale, lengthen the right leg up again to wherever it goes, straight. And exhale, slowly release down, really controlled. Left side now. Inhale, left side up, extend through both heels. Exhale, knee to chest, draw the left knee towards you. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Firm in the belly. Inhale, right side up. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhaling up and exhaling down. One more to each side. Inhale, right. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale, left. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale up and exhale down. Now just straight legs. So firm belly. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale slowly down. Inhale the left leg slowly up, controlling the movement all of the way. And exhale slowly down. Try to coordinate the breath and the movement together. Inhaling right. Exhaling down. Extend through both heels, firm in the belly. Inhaling left. And exhaling down. Last one to each side. Inhale right. Exhale down. Inhale left. Exhale down. We're going to bend our knees again, place the feet on the floor. Just support the pelvis for a moment and sway the knees from side to side. So it's not a full spinal twist. It's just the beginnings of a spinal twist, beginning to awaken that movement in the body. And you can turn your palms upwards for this if that feels better, so you can relax the shoulders a bit more. When you feel like you've done the same to both sides, bringing the feet to stillness, the knees to stillness. And we're going to keep the left knee bent and the foot on the floor and bend the right leg in towards us, hold around the back of the thigh and then extend the leg. So it might be that your leg gets really straight and that's fine as long as you're not pressing too hard through the back of the knee. And it might be that you need a little bit more room, so you allow the leg to come away from you a bit. Or it might be that you keep the knee bent, keep the leg towards you. If you prefer, you can hold on to the front of your trousers and allow your leg to extend away from you. So you give yourself a little bit of support. With leggings or shorts, that might work quite well. And if you've got a belt handy and you know that a belt is better for you for a hamstring stretch, then you can use a belt. So whatever feels good. Just lengthening through the heel of the right foot, softening the shoulders down, relaxing your face, and taking some long, deep breaths. And then beginning to stir the heel of the right foot. So you can draw little circles with the heel of the foot. Going in one direction and then in the other direction as well. Just a little bit of movement, maybe a touch of extra stretch. Coming back to center. On your next inhalation, lift your head and shoulders off the floor and slide your hands up your leg as far as you need to get your arms long, your shoulders relaxed, and the back of your leg nice and long as well, if you can. Breathe here. Take a few moments. Try to keep the neck as relaxed as possible. If this feels super comfy, then extending your left leg away from you as well, extending through the heels of both feet. If you've just got the right leg extended, just extend through the heel of the right leg. Even if you feel like you've got more room, I don't want you to move into that room there, okay? Just experiencing that feeling of length. So instead, allow the leg to move instead of your upper body, yeah? Take another deep breath in. And a slow breath out. And then gently releasing the head and the shoulders down, but leave your leg where it is. So if you've got your left leg long, that's okay. If you've got your left leg bent, it doesn't matter. We're going to release the arms out to the side. And again, make nice, maybe slightly bigger circles with the heel of the right foot. Lovely stuff. And in the opposite direction as well. Sorry, you're going to hear one of the clucking chickens. That means she's just laid an egg somewhere in the hedgerows. We call her hedgerows for that reason. Okay, so here in the center, we're going to use really good control with the abdominal muscles and with the leg itself, and allow the right leg to come to the right as far as feels comfortable, but keeping the left hip stabilized, and then draw the right leg back to the center and allow it to come in the opposite direction over the left hip. But our hips are pretty still. So allowing the right leg to come out to the right, hips pretty still, very firm in the belly, and allowing the right leg to come over to the left. We're just doing this. This is dynamic, but very controlled. We'll do one more. And if this doesn't suit your hips for any reason, that's okay. Just, you can leave this out. You can do this with a belt as well as just 2 simple stretches. Coming back to center, bending your right knee into your chest, making little gentle circles with the right knee as well. So just easing out any effort from the muscles of the right leg, and the opposite direction too. Your hip's going to be super lubricated after this. And then bend both knees in, place the right foot down, and we do the whole thing to the other side. If you need to take a moment to extend your right leg, that's okay. Go for it. So now we're going to hold around the back of the left thigh and extend the left leg, sorry, up towards the ceiling. And here, again, you can find your comfortable place. Maybe this is your more open side or your less open side. You can either hold onto your trousers and let your leg go to a point which feels like a good stretch and it's, the leg is straight. You can hug the leg towards you. You can use a belt, of course. We're aiming to have the shoulders nice and relaxed, the face nice and relaxed, and as much length in the left leg as is possible. But if you need to bend your knee a little bit to make this possible, then that's okay too. As long as you feel some length of some kind, a few deep breaths, relaxing your face. Just give the body time for those muscles to find that space to lengthen into, to realign the muscle fibers. When they're confused, the muscles bunch up a little bit. When we lengthen and realign the muscle fibers, they become long muscles and better to stretch. So on your next breath in, raise your head towards your knee and slide your hand as far up your left legs, hands as far up your left leg as they go. We're aiming for long, straight arms if we can. If that feels nice and easy, then extending your right leg away from you so the heels of both feet are extended. Otherwise, just lengthening through your left heel. Taking a moment here, avoid the temptation of pulling yourself towards your left leg. The idea is to use traction. That's why the arms are long. So you can gently draw your left leg towards you, but try to avoid this tension in the front of the throat to keep your neck nice and long. Oh, I realized we forgot to do ankle circles, heel circles. It's not to worry. We shall do it. When you're ready, you can gently release this leg. Release your head in your hands. We'll make little circles with the heel of the foot. If you want to go back and do this with the arms, the hands around the back of the thigh, then you can, absolutely. But if you're happy to do it with a free leg, you can as well. And then we're going to really anchor ourselves in the belly muscles here and explore movement of the leg sideways. So allow the left leg to come out to the left, keeping the right hip really pressed towards the floor. And then bringing the left leg over towards the right. So left leg to the left, I think I might have muddled that. Nice and controlled, and then drawing the leg over to the right. a dynamic movement, but with really good control. Extending through the heel of the right foot or pressing the right foot into the floor at the same time if your knee is bent. Last one. Coming back to center, bending your left knee into your chest and making circles with your left knee. Use your arms to help. And we'll go in both directions, easing the tension away from the practice that we've just done. Bend both knees into your chest. Hug both knees towards you. Make any movements that feel good, perhaps a little rocking over the back of the body, massaging the back of the body. And when you're ready, you can take both feet down to the floor. We're going to take the feet a little bit wide, so maybe even as wide as the body, or a little touch wider if you prefer. Palms turned upwards, shoulders really relaxed, firm in the belly and gently swaying the knees. Now here you can just sway, or you can release the knees all the way down if you feel that you've got the space to do that now. So hopefully there's a little bit more openness in the pelvis, a little bit more space to move into. But knees from side to side, moving perhaps with your breath if you want to. Inhaling to the center and exhaling the knees over. Inhaling to the center and exhaling the knees over. So just finding that little sway, that release across the sides of the hips, the sides of the bottom of the torso, the back, the sides, the front. Next time you come to center, hopefully that's an even number of times, bringing your knees back towards each other, and we're going to lengthen the legs away just for a moment. If you need to, you can give your hip flexors a little bit of love here by tapping or patting or rubbing. And then we'll do some stretches through the body again with our breath. So arms down by the side, point your toes away from you gently this time. Inhale the arms up, allow the back of the body to release away from the mat. And then exhale, release the arms down to the side. You can relax your feet. Inhaling, pointing the toes away, reach the arms up, reach the front of the body long so that the back of the body is released away from the mat. And exhale down. It's just really the low back that lifts. Inhale, pointing the toes, lengthening through the fingertips, lengthening through the whole of the front of the body. And exhale the arms down to the side. Feels quite delicious, doesn't it? So we're going to bring our feet back together. Feet underneath the knees again, so bending the knees. And we're just about to do bridge pose. And if you want, you can have something between your knees. I haven't got anything to hand. There's a block over there, but this stops the knees coming apart. So if you would like to, if you know that happens to you, then a little something between the knees, just hold on to. Very, very light. So you're not squeezing, you're not having to make a big effort, but you're just keeping your alignment by holding something between the knees. Have our arms down by the side. And you can have your heels quite close to your buttocks here. But if you start with your heels on your buttocks, it doesn't give you much room to move into. So if you give yourself a little bit of extra space, then you can maybe make a softer, more gentle start to this movement for the body. Arms down by the sides, rolling the shoulder blades slightly towards each other under the back so you feel a broadening of the chest, pressing the sides of the body and the arms down. Pressing into your heels and the balls of your feet. Inhale as you lift gently your hips up. And exhale as you release down. Firm your pelvic floor and your abdominal muscles. Inhale as you lift. Maybe the weight comes onto your shoulders, but not into the back of your head any more than it already was. And exhaling down. Press your palms down. Inhale as you lift. Firm belly, firm pelvic floor, shoulders pressing down. Exhale as you lower. Moving with your breath. Inhale as you lift. And exhale as you lower. We'll do 3 more like this. Inhaling. Maybe see if you can get just a touch higher. Exhaling. Firm your buttocks as you lift. Inhaling. Pressing the front of the pelvis high by engaging the back of the pelvis. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. So this time when we come down, just rest for a moment with the legs long. Just extending, doing whatever feels good. So I like a little rock from side to side. And then we're going to come back into bridge and we're going to hold the bridge only if you want to. Okay, so you can go back to doing a dynamic flowing up and down movement, or you can do the hold if you prefer. And the hold, when we hold bridge, it's good to engage the arms differently. So we're going to draw the upper arms towards each other and perhaps interlace the fingers behind the back. And for some people there's just not enough room here in the chest to be able to do that. So if that's the case, holding onto the sides of your mat. I prefer this too, holding the sides of the mat. Or you can just simply lengthen the arms down into the floor if you prefer. So bringing the knees again to a bent position, heels close to the buttocks. And here, if you want to, you can bring your heels a little bit closer still if you like. Okay, arms down by the side. We're going to firm the pelvic floor before we start. We'll draw the abdominal muscles in before we start and try and keep them really firm. At the same time, broaden the space in the chest by really lengthening the shoulders, the backs of the shoulders down. Press the palms to the floor. Breathe in as you lift the hips up. And you might need to go up and down a few times, but if you're ready to hold, then that's okay. And here, just initially, spending a moment in this lifted bridge pose before you adjust your arms. So feel the effort, feel the buttocks working, feel what's working in the body to be able to lift into this position and hold, but also breathe. And then when you're ready, we can begin to support this a little bit better. So rolling the shoulders underneath the body, interlacing the fingers, drawing the upper arms towards you if you'd like, and pressing the backs of the arms and the fists down into the mat. At the same time, keep the buttocks working and keep pressing into the heels. If you prefer, you can hold on to the edges of your mat, no problem at all. Same thing, still pressing down with the arms. Take a few deep breaths. Feel the lift of the breath, maybe the open space over the body. Feel the breath lift into the chest. Don't allow your knees to drift apart any more than your ankles are apart. There's not so much need to keep your belly muscles working here if your buttocks are supportive, but you can keep the activation in your pelvic floor. When you're ready to come down, release the arms, release the shoulders, maybe come up onto your tiptoes and then gently uncurl the spine, one vertebra at a time, until you come all the way down. Release the hands apart. maybe the feet just a little bit further from the buttocks, firm in the belly, and gently sway the knees from side to side. And you might also want to sway the head in the opposite direction, just to release the back of the neck. So when you're building a home practice, it's good to remember pose and counter pose. And some people fall into this habit of thinking that back bends must be counterposed by forward bends, but actually you can counterpose a back bend by a neutral spine, a twist, or a side bend, as well as a forward bend. It depends how much of the effect you want to lose with your counterpose. So from here, we're gently going to do a more expressive spinal twist. So we're going to bend the right knee in and place the right ankle over the left thigh. And then we're going to draw the left knee towards us so the foot comes off the floor. So a figure 4 stretch. And here you can make circly circles. You can make circles with the knee of the left leg in both directions. And then maybe do a gentle sway from side to side. You can maybe feel a good stretch here around the outside of the right hip. Any movements that feel good. You're going to float the left foot down to the floor. Keep the position of the knees. Maybe widen the hands slightly. Relax the back of the neck and shoulders. Firm belly. And then just allow the left knee to go to the left. Excuse me. And the right leg to follow. When you're in your twisted position, you can turn your head in any way that feels good. And take a couple of deep breaths. After your next exhalation, firming the belly, bringing the head back to center if it's been twisted, and then the legs. We're going to uncurl the legs, lengthen both legs out. Maybe lengthen the arms out above the head so you become like star-shaped. And maybe just stretch the opposite sides away from each other. So left foot stretched away from right foot, and release. Right foot stretched away from left foot, left hand rather, and release. So opposite hand and leg, stretching, and release. And the other side, stretching, and release. Gather yourself back up, knees and arms. Right foot on the floor, left knee bent so the ankle is across the right thigh. Draw the right knee towards you, figure 4 stretch, flexing both feet. If your knees are bothered by this, that sometimes helps. But if they're really bothered by this, then it's important not to do it. We want to avoid any uncomfortable sensations in the knees. Listen to your body, you can't undo it. So, can't undo it if you've overstretched, sorry. So making circles with your right knee, hopefully that feels like a really nice release across the hip. And then if you want to, you can rock a little bit side to side. Generally, the further to the right your knee goes, the more of a stretch you get around the left hip. When you're ready, you can float your right foot to the floor, firm your belly, and then allow your right knee to go to the right, your left leg to follow. So you come into a sort of twisted position, and then find a comfortable position for your head. Doesn't matter which way. And take some deep breaths. When you're ready to return to center, head to center first, firm belly, knees coming back, and then uncrossing the legs. We're going to take one more long stretch with the arms and legs, maybe just making a lovely star shape, and then gather our knees in and bring our heads towards our knees and rock backwards and forwards to come up into sitting. So we want to build up momentum towards sitting, not all in one go. If you're really finding the bones rolling to one side and coming up into sitting because your spinous process won't enjoy this. When you're ready, coming up into sitting, having massaged the whole spine. Very nice indeed. Okay, excellent stuff, guys. So we're going to come onto the hands and knees now to do a little bit of cow and cat-cow and dog and various bits. So, I've just noticed the time. So we will be powering through these. So knees underneath the hips, hands wherever is comfortable for you, firm the belly. Inhale as you look forward, opening the chest. And exhale as you round through the spine, chin towards the chest. Inhale, lengthening forward, lifting the tailbone a little, lifting the head. Exhale, rounding through the back, chin to chest. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. From this exhaled position, tuck your toes. And then inhale your knees off the floor and press your chest towards your thighs. Press into your fingertips, into the heels of your hands. Keep your knees nice and soft. And make sure your head's in a neutral position. With the arms and back long, arms not locked straight but long, then you can begin to ease one leg straighter, heel towards the mat, and come back into this deeply bent position. Ease the other leg straight, heel towards the mat. And back into your bent knee position. Keep going side to side. Back to the knee bend. And then when you feel like your body is opening a little bit more like this, you can begin to lengthen the knees a little bit more and just paddle the feet. No need to coordinate with your breath unless you're inclined to. And here, maybe gently turning the head from side to side as well, or gently nodding the head if that feels comfortable. Try to keep your belly muscles working. So you create that sort of sense of space between the thighs and the bottom of the torso. And when you're ready, you can come up onto both tiptoes, press your chest firmly towards your thighs, and ease your heels towards the floor. Enjoying that first lengthened down dog of the day. And here we're really, I feel it mostly in my calves, and that's where I'd like you to access the stretch, because we've stretched other parts of the back of the body, but not the calves. And then from here, we're going to walk the feet forward towards the hands. So really soft knees, just finding a nice little baby steps to the front. And then with your feet a comfortable distance apart, for some people that might be wider, relaxing the back of the head to the crown of the head, towards the floor. And if you can, backs of the hands towards the floor. And if you need to, you might hold elbow to elbow, if that gives you purchase on something. It's better to make contact with something with your fingers. But backs of the hands to the floor if that is also quite comfy and you've got nice soft elbows. Notice that we're just going to keep a little softness in the back of the legs for now.
Roll the shoulder blades down the back to find length down the back of the neck. And then gently press one leg straighter and then soften, just as we did in down dog. And then the opposite leg straighter and soften. You can do this holding elbow to elbow as well, no problem. Still with the shoulder blades a little bit active, the space between the shoulder blades rather active. Still with the belly muscles a little bit active. Try to center your weight on your feet so it's not all in your heels, it's not all in your toes. When you're ready, softening and releasing, maybe bending the knees a little bit deeper. If you want to try the fuller expression of the posture, palms pressed down into the mat, lengthen your legs. Draw your body towards your long legs. You can also wrap around the backs of the thighs or backs of the knees. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then we're ready to come up. Everyone's going to come up, soft knees, chin to chest, rolling up one vertebra at a time. And I feel like I've set the camera up, so my head's going to go off the camera. That's not a problem at all. We're going to roll the chest open. Turn the palms forwards and just take a moment to feel ourselves in this new position before bringing the hands to Namaste, taking the chin towards the chest, smiling gently. And when you're ready, raising your head, releasing your hands, opening your eyes. Okay, so I'm just kneeling because otherwise I'm not on the camera. But we've come to the end of the moving part of the class, and it's been a really gentle but deep practice. So it's relaxation. And you can relax in any position that feels comfortable to you. So it might be that you use a bolster underneath the backs of the legs. I think that's what I'm going to do today. You might just want to lie all the way flat. And you might want to be lying on your side or your tummy or reclined on your sofa as you choose. Grab a blanket if you need one. And bring yourself into the Shavasana or relaxation pose of your choice. So if you need to, you can bend your knees into your chest and hug them towards you and make any adjustments, any wriggling movements. Today, I think I'm going to wrap one arm over the other and just find that space behind the shoulder blades and maybe turn my head from side to side. Go the other way as well. So if you're in Shavasana, trying to allow your arms to relax away from your body as much as you need to let the shoulders soften to the floor. So that's what it's about. It's not about having your hands in a particular position. It's about where your shoulders can relax. If possible, turning the palms upwards or towards the sides of the body, rather than turning the palms downwards. Lengthening through the back of your neck. Taking a moment to find all of those niggles and adjusting for them. And then bringing your body to stillness. Stillness in this posture is the most important part of the posture. The stillness is what allows the rest of the body's energy to settle, to center again. It's what allows each of your muscles and tissues of the body to release their effort and begin to relax. It's what allows the brain, the cognition to slowly release from control of the body's movements, to quieten the mind. Let's take a deep breath in, sigh out through the mouth. Repeat 3 more times. A deep breath in. Let all of your effort go. Deep breath in. Let your muscles begin to relax. Deep breath in and surrender down into your mat. Allow your breath to fall in its natural, spontaneous rhythm and fall away into silence. Take your awareness to your forehead. Feel it soften and spread. Feel the area around your eyes relaxing. Your mouth, tongue, jaw, releasing. Move your awareness to the back of your body. Become aware of all of the parts of the back of the body in contact with your mat or some kind of support. Notice the feeling of contact. Notice that that feeling is different at the back of the head, the buttocks and the heels. Observe the sensation. Move your awareness to the parts of the back of the body that are not in contact with your neck. The back of your neck, wrists, Achilles, and the soles of your feet. Observe the sensation of space between your body and the floor. Move your awareness to the front of your body. Become aware of the space over you and around you. Feel the touch of air on your face. The movement of your clothes on your skin as you breathe. The sensation of holding space in the palms of the hands. Move your awareness to your breath. Simply observing your natural, deep, slow breath.
As you breathe in peace, tranquility, balance. As you breathe out love, compassion, kindness. Breathing in peace, tranquility, balance. Breathing out love, compassion, kindness. Breathing in peace. Breathing out love. Breathing in peace. Breathing out love. Allowing your body to slip deeper into relaxation with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your hands and your feet, beginning to move your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling your wrists, your ankles. When you're ready, take a deep breath in, stretch the arms, stretch the legs, stretch any part of the body that feels like it needs it. Maybe yawn, stretch your face. When you feel ready, you can bend your knees in, hug them towards you. Make any movements that your spine will enjoy. And in your own time, find your way onto the side of your body and just spend a moment there, letting your body come round a little at a time. With the eyes gently closed. When you're ready, find your way into a comfortable seated position. Finish by rubbing your palms together vigorously Getting heat into the hands, pressing the hands firmly together, rubbing them fast. When they begin to feel warm, place the hands over the eyes. Feel that soften and release the area around your eyes, blinking into your palms a few times, releasing your hands down as you open your eyes. Namaste. Thanks for joining me for this floor-based practice. I hope you enjoyed it. So we say goodbye to our video guys. Bye guys.